another episode of Basement Brew Review, the quarantine edition. We are now on week number, I don't know, it's all the same. But again, welcome back. We hope you're all doing good at home, and we're going to review some more beer together.
Don't know what week it is. It's like the worst Groundhog's Day ever.
Alex is going
all the beer.
All in.
Yeah. Well, since you did that, Alex, why don't you start us off and tell us
that's probably a healthy bet, I guess.
Probably, yeah. You start first because
so I picked up Founders KBS Espresso, ale brewed with chocolate coffee aged in bourbon barrels. I'm sure most of you out there are familiar with KBS. I know I've got a bottle of 2014 in the fridge, the aging fridge. Trying to find the ABV on this. Maybe I'll pick it up
I'll
later.
look that up for you real quick.
Okay. All right. Let's. We got a little bit ahead on that, but I used one of my boots just because it's a giant bottle. Probably it's 12%. There it is down at the bottom.
There we go.
So 12%. Big format bottle, so I figured I'd just be funny and use one of my boots. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kitty said cheers.
That's pretty smooth for 12%. Holy crap! Wow.
I've got a bottle of that I was hanging on to for a review, so now I get to drink it by myself.
Yeah, there's definitely a fair. You can definitely taste the chocolate, a little bit of coffee, not like the homebrew we reviewed a couple of weeks ago. Not a whole lot of coffee. Like you definitely get a lot of the chocolate flavor there. Don't get too much. A little bit of oak, not too much of the bourbon. Definitely doesn't taste 12%. But wow, I'm pretty impressed with that for being like a nationally distributed beer. It's pretty good.
How's the coffee in it?
It's pretty mild, I think.
For an espresso, really? I would think probably a lot more coffee for it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be getting masked by the chocolate a little bit, I think. But I mean, I've had espresso before, and it does not hit like that. So,
well, I wonder, and maybe it's just my own taste buds, but as that warms up, especially since you have it in a larger glass, if the coffee will become more pronounced. That's what I usually taste. Coffee becomes more pronounced as it heats up.
Yeah, it's quite possible. So maybe at the end we'll take another guess. But at this, I'd give this probably a 4.6.
Ooh,
I mean, it's really, really smooth. Not a lot. I would maybe prefer a little more boozy flavor just because it's 12%. But I really, really like this, actually.
Good deal.
Interesting.
So, Andrew, you want to go next?
Sure. On my way home, I know I had beers in the house that I was going to drink, but I remember Justin a couple weeks ago had said something that Variant has a very, very apt named beer called Confinement. It's a New England IPA, 7%. I think they just came out with it, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, if even that.
I got. Say what?
I said, if even that, it maybe not have been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think this was bottled on, so the 21st, so yeah, like 3 days ago in the Crowler. New England IPA, hazy, as you can see. It's good. It's good for it's tasty, it's hoppy. I mean, obviously it's going to be hoppy, but it's not too, it's got a little earthy kind of taste to it. Slight bite to it. Like I said, 7%, so you really don't get too much alcohol in it, especially compared to some of the stuff that we usually drink. But no, it's decent. I definitely would get that again. I'd give it probably about a 4 or 5.
Ooh.
I like it.
So how does it compare to their Moon Cloud, their other hazy New England style?
Asking the tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Like I'm trying to remember back through. I think Moon Cloud in it as well. This one has cashmere hops in it, but it's got 2 other kind of really earthy hops. So I think this one just a little bit different flavor, a little bit more earthy as soon as you first hit it. So, But just as good, I think. It's good. Just they're good seasonal beer. So
excellent. I may have to go pick that up tomorrow.
Yeah. So, Justin.
All right. So I believe, per our discussion, I'm doing a beer that Alex did a couple weeks ago, the Big Dippa IPA, double IPA from Reformation. Got a real cool artwork on the can here. You'll see on the photo at the beginning of this, but it is a double IPA, 8.5% by volume, and looks like they've got some Nelson Sauvin, some Southern Cross, and some rye all in here to kind of give it a nice different flavor from Reformation in Woodstock, Georgia. So it's got a nice golden color to it. Definitely a more golden rye color than what you were just drinking, Andrew.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like that color.
And I'm imagining Justin's going to give this a lot higher than maybe I did. I know my dad absolutely loves that beer.
So it's got a nice rye body to it, resinous on the IPA, hops kind of thing. A little bit of fruit, a little earthy, a little bit of that spicy. It's a good, very, very good IPA. I'm going to give it a 4.3. It's good. Does not taste as heavy or thick as a normal double IPA does. It definitely drinks easy, which is good, and it's not overly alcoholic. You would think for big body double IPA. So that's a good beer. It's a very good beer. So yeah, 4.3 for me.
Nice. So tonight I'm doing a very special beer for me. About 2 years ago, the liquor store closest to my house, Georgia Liquor Barn, did a collab with Cherry Street, and it came out as Liquor Barn Stout. One of my all-time best stouts I have ever had. If there's ever been a 5.0 beer, in my opinion, that was a 5.0. So about 8 or 9 months ago, before NoFo ever opened to the public, Georgia Liquor Barn did a Elijah barrel pick store bottle beer, and they kept the barrel. So it was a very wet barrel. Still had a lot of slush in at the bottom after the bottling was done.
Beer or whiskey?
The whiskey barrel.
Okay.
And they delivered that to NoFo probably 2 or 3 months before NoFo actually opened for business. So this barrel has been at NoFo for probably 8 months. They say it's been the beer in the barrel aged for at least 6 months. It came out at 9% ABV. So really kind of low for the barrel age.
Mm-hmm.
But the smell is amazing. It smells like a bourbon barrel beer. The taste.
Pinky up.
About to say, where's that pinky?
I'm drinking out of my most pretentious glass. You get a little carbonation with a lot of bourbon flavor, a lot of toffee and chocolate. It's very rich, very smooth. This is the beer I would give to someone that says either A, I don't drink the dark beer, or B, I don't like beers that taste like bourbon. Because this tastes like, it's a dark beer that tastes like bourbon, but is so smooth that you could fool anyone into thinking, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like, and just ruin their perception of a barrel-aged beer for life.
So
it is amazing. This is
going to set the bar really high for them.
This is the best beer I've had from NoFo, hands down. And that's saying something because I like their sour IPA. I like their high alcohol content stouts. I like their porters. 4.7.
Ooh, that's a record.
I'm glad you bought bottles for the rest of us.
I was able to secure a bottle for each of you, so I'll deliver those once quarantine's over.
Awesome. They're selling it from the brewery.
They're selling it. They're sold out at the brewery. AJ, the owner of Georgia Liquor Barn, and his brother Andy, the owner of McFarland Wine and Spirits, both still have about a case in stock, and they got their allotment today of about 20 cases each.
So it's going to be gone tonight.
It's probably already gone at this point, to be honest.
Well, that makes a lot of sense that they're brothers, because I hear McFarland posting on the Atlanta Brewing or Atlanta Beer subreddit a lot. So it makes sense that both of them would be.
They're both the nicest guys you could run into. Just great advocates for the local beer community. And they're always trying their best to get in the crazy. They get 450 North occasionally. Like they go out of their way to get the beer that we typically can't get in Georgia,
Right.
just so their normal clientele can have a shot at tasting something that normally would never get to taste.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I noticed something tonight. We all picked beers that I think were all styles we liked. We all scored some pretty high beers tonight.
We did.
So
Yeah.
none of this, in the I thought it was gonna be better than it was, but they all had good, which is a good way to end the week on a Friday again during quarantine, is to drink some beers we actually enjoy.
I mean, if you want me to score one I don't enjoy, I can do that, because I've been drinking this one here that I'm not a big fan of.
What is that one?
I saw a
Oh,
wild
but that strawberry shortcake thing?
That's the strawberry eclair double IPA.
Ooh, that seems like there'd be a lot going on in there.
There is. In order to give it a really good, accurate, I would probably need to drink it on camera to really.
Well, why don't you hang on to it, and when we all get together, we can do it all together instead of having
I do that. Either that, or I'll just buy another 4-pack.
Well, I think I've got one that I'm going to try for next week that I'm going to save. I picked it up at Variant today. It's Drink Well with Others. It's a pineapple milkshake IPA.
Oh shit! The bubble almost got me, guys.
The bubble.
Dude, seriously,
to turn the
bubble
boot.
almost got me.
You got to turn it.
I got to turn it.
Cheeky bastard.
Yeah, I actually bought a beer this week that I thought was going to be one of those going to land middle of the road. I'm not really going to like it. It was Brewery Project Orange Drank, and it was a orange creamsicle sour, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's probably going to land middle of the scale. It's not going to live up to tasting like an orange creamsicle. I drank the 4-pack in one night.
I got thirsty.
It was, yeah.
That's funny, but yeah, we've got a couple I'm holding, so hopefully this thing lasts not much longer before we can do that together. But if it does, I'm gonna start breaking them out just because I don't want them to sit for too long. I'm too excited about trying them. But some of the ones I got a can of that Vancazia with your name still on it, Andrew.
Ooh.
I may just mail it to you so you get it earlier.
Is it the coconut cream pie? I don't think we posted that video yet.
Yeah. I wanted to mail it so it's all hot and shook it up.
Exactly. Just pop it right there. Oh.
I think we might need
for an upcoming episode. Andrew doesn't like that beer.
Spoilers for an upcoming episode.
Spoiler.
None of us.
Yeah. Spoiler
like
alert.
that beer.
Spoiler alert. It's a 5.0.
So, but now we're gonna do some. I think quarantine means we're gonna drink beers we like. So all of our scores, I know the past couple weeks been high, especially high tonight. Which is good. We should be drinking beers you like.
It's the nature of the beast. We're all going out. We're all buying our style of beer.
Exactly.
We're buying what we prefer to drink. So we're obviously going to be scoring them a little bit higher. Yeah. As versus our typical style where we each bring something we want to contribute to the review.
Yeah.
And Justin might bring a super dank IPA, and Alex might bring a super sour.
No, I'm going to bring you a super Russian Imperial Stout.
When you put a spoon in, it just stands up.
No.
But there's a good chance one of us is going to bring something that's a little too much of something for somebody else.
This is true. Well, I'm ready to get back into some of these breweries and support the local guys. And
so am I.
Oh yeah, same here.
But I will say, Justin, you were right. As this is warmed up, I'm getting a lot more out of the wood flavor in the barrel, a little more dry, finish on it with the espresso. So yeah, it's definitely changed a lot as it's warmed up.
Well, and not to go too far down the chemical engineering dork, but the coffee, the stuff that makes coffee smell like coffee are volatile, so it's got to get hotter. That's why hot coffee smells good, and cold coffee doesn't smell as good. It's got to volatilize, so it heats up. You get more of those flavors.
Cold coffee doesn't smell. Period.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's interesting how the flavors change as things heat up. That whole as cold as the Rockies doesn't really help necessarily.
No. Yeah. Oh, well, Rockies. My beer is a good example of that. I started drinking it, it was probably a little bit too cold. It was probably around 72, or sorry, opposite direction. It's probably around 42. As it's warmed up closer to the 50s, more bourbon shining through.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when I first started home brewing, the guy that taught me to homebrew, who actually is the guy that owns Truck and Tap, which if you're in the Atlanta area, go when it opens back up. Fantastic place, Zach.
Oh, I think they're still doing
They're
to
still
go
going?
right now. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean I've seen the trucks
Zach,
out there.
Zach's
awesome.
actually hosting virtual How to Brew at Home.
Yeah,
I saw that.
He is.
So I mean, I started brewing with Zach in front of his old bottle shop. What was it, 6 years ago?
More
Yeah, back when it was that old shop, like down at the end of the strip.
2008, 2009.
So he said, if we brew a beer, let it get the room temperature and drink it. If it still tastes good at room temperature, you've got a good beer. You're not hiding stuff with it being cold. And
Right.
I've done it. Me and Alex, how many times have we tasted the beer right out of the fermenter,
Yep.
warm, be like, yep, it tastes good.
Yep.
You remember that one beer that we tasted that no matter how cold you got it, it still tasted like blue cheese dressing?
Yes. Yeah,
that was a bad beer. That was a bad beer.
That was a Berliner Weiss.
Zach,
went
if
bad.
you watch this, we drank your blue cheese beer.
That was a Berliner cheese.
No, I think he was trying for a lactose beer on that one. The bacteria went off and produced the stuff that makes blue cheese taste and smell like blue cheese. So not good. Not these beers tonight, though. we won't review that one. So I guess we're going to pull this one to a close. It's gone a little bit longer. So until the next time, and hopefully it'll be all together. But until then,
may the brew
be with you.
Be with you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.